All right.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show. This is America's longest-running afternoon drive sports radio show, broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legends.
Here's Doug Gottlieb.
Yesterday, Adam Silver spoke to the media about a, quote, robust conversation at the Board of Governors meeting about improving the current competitive landscape and that the NBA can create a better system. The two things that were most discussed or that he was willing to share was, one, changing the age limit of the NBA, and two, potentially changing the playoff format of the NBA. Let's start with the age limit, to which I don't think he understood the information that was given to him. So there's a commission on college athletics chaired by Condoleezza Rice, who, oh yeah, by the way, doesn't really have anything to do with college athletics. Condoleezza Rice is amazing. She's incredibly accomplished. She apparently loves football. That's how she got on the college football playoff committee. But she doesn't currently, I believe, work at a university, nor has she recruited in college. Like the problem with that committee is like there's nobody who's really kind of present day invested that much in college basketball, and yet their findings are why the NCAA is going to make a change and the NBA is likely to make a change. And the first part is changing the age limit. But what's interesting about what Adam Silver said was, my personal view is we are ready to make a change. It won't come immediately, but when I weighed the pros and cons, and given that Condoleezza Rice and her commission has recommended to the NBA that those one-and-done players now come directly into the league, in essence, the college community is saying we don't want those players anymore. It sort of tips the scale in my mind that we should take a serious look at lowering the age to 18. You're listening to the information all wrong. They don't want them. Okay? Because they don't want the whole attitude persona of, I'm only here for 5 minutes, and then I'm gone. What is in the best interest of the league is most important. Instead of reacting to emotions, reacting to facts. Go back to when we had no age limit. You guys remember that? Why did it change? Because NBA teams were tired of trying to evaluate players in high school. NBA coaches couldn't win with the young players that they drafted. NBA GMs were reaching and stretching to find the next stars, but there was way more swings and misses than there were hits. And oh yeah, by the way, even when there were, I believe in 2005 was the last year, you had like 13 players drafted straight out of high school. Most of those missed. They didn't develop as human beings. What is a healthier system? The NFL system or the NBA system? Steve Kerr wrote an article. Go back and read it. I tweeted it out earlier today. He was a GM in the NBA. He's now a coach in the NBA. At the time he was covering college basketball, he's like, look, dude, you don't want this. You don't want 18-year-olds. You want them to have to stay in school for 2 or 3 years. Plus, it builds their brands. It builds their brands for the teams they're going to join. It develops them as people and as players. Adam Silver's reacting to Twitter. He's reacting to emotions. He's reacting to people who aren't involved in the sport. And I warn college athletics, like if you want the baseball system, you know what you're going to get out of college basketball? College baseball. How relevant is college baseball? It's not. And then you look at the idea, we want, what did he say? Let me be clear, under the current system, we want teams to compete like crazy. So I think the Warriors, within the framework of this deal, should be doing everything they can to increase their dominance. But Adam Silver says, we can create a better system. We're not trying to create some sort of forced parity. We want to really be focused on parity of opportunity. There's so many kind of conflicting alliances in where the NBA should go. But again, you have to start with what's in the best interest of the entire league. And while emotion would tell you, hey, go to 1-16, the fact is that if you have an LA versus Golden State finals, you're not going to have the viewership that you would have versus a Boston versus Golden State finals. That's just the reality of it. Don't believe me? I give you Yankees-Mets World Series. Terrible ratings nationwide. Not only are 66% of the TV viewers in the Eastern Seaboard, but the fact is that once you become a regional sport, look at college football's numbers and how they've struggled in the college football playoff era. When you get regionalized, when you take Ohio State out of it, when you take you don't put USC in it, your numbers are going to suffer. And the NBA is reacting on emotion, and they're kind of a step behind. And if you chase down the West and say, hey, the West is better than the East, by the time you flip it and you make it 1-16 in a couple of years, because it does take that much time to work out the scheduling changes, the playoff changes, how to make it fair and equitable for people. But I'm talking regular season schedule, not just postseason schedule. The East is likely to be as good or better. Remember, Giannis is in Milwaukee. Philadelphia appears to be good. They're going to be good. Boston's going to be very good for a long time, and we'll see if the Wizards and a couple other teams can figure it out. Hell, Toronto had the best record. Now LeBron's out. Maybe they can get over the hump. But it feels like Adam Silver is reacting on emotion, taking the advice of others. And while people didn't like David Stern, because David Stern could be abrasive, could be abrupt, frankly, he could be an a-hole. He just could. He could be a serious a-hole. This dude's so not, he's just too nice. And he's going to get pushed around and manipulated and mauled in this thing. He wants to be liked. He wants people to really like him. That's cool. But you know what? People don't like Roger Goodell. How's the NFL doing? Oh, the NFL is doing terrible. No, it's not. No, it's not. The NFL didn't have Thursday Night Football 5 years ago. Then they had a couple of games they put on CBS. They had put games on their own NFL network. Then they're like, hey, CBS and NBC, you guys split it up. They didn't even rate that well. And Fox came in and said, yeah, we're going to blow that offer out of the water. You know why? Because you got to have the NFL. It ain't about being liked. It's not about making people happy. But the product. It's about what's in the best interest of the league. And while you're really close and the talent might be at an all-time high, half the teams are trying to be bad. And by trying to play catch up and fix the thing and make it 1-16, you're going to cut up all of the different history of the sport, Lakers, Celtics, NBA, all the East versus West. You're going to lose the Eastern Seaboard. In an effort to be liked, the league will lose popularity, will lose momentum. It's not NBA 2K. It's real life, right? You know? It's not the way it works. I mean, the comical part about the whole even 18-year-old age limit is there is no age limit for guys to go to the G League. They can come straight out of high school, go to the G League for a year, and be drafted. Now that more know that, even though that's been available to them for a decade, let some of them explore that. See how that goes. Go ahead, try it for a year. They've been able to come straight out of high school for a long time. They just can't get drafted. And even now, they can go to IMG Academy if they want. They can do the prep school thing. In your effort to protect 2 or 3 kids who might be forced to go to college for a year, talk to the actual people, boots on the ground, they'll tell you none of them are really ready. And the reason that the college system doesn't really want them around is just kind of the whole attitude of, I don't need to be here.